71% of married women with children now work outside the home. 71%. Then the stay-at-home mom is increasingly becoming an oddity. Okay. How do you respond? You're not odd. How do you respond to the comment, if I had to stay home with my kid all day, I'd go crazy, which I guess people say, or what do you do all day, which I guess people say, is going crazy at home the right excuse to go to work, or fill me in, Mom.
Okay, first of all, the what do you do all day question bothers me so badly. Okay, so if I go up and I'm like, oh, hi, Roxanne, what do you do? And she says, I'm an attorney. Do I then go and say, well, what do you do all day when you're an attorney? Tell me.
That's good.
Tell me what you did. Who did you meet with this morning? What did you do for lunch today? How did you decide what you were going to wear? You find out what they do and you move on. Same with the stay-at-home mom. You find out I'm a stay-at-home mom. You do not need to know what I'm doing all day. I am doing plenty of things, accounting, refereeing, coaching,
driving,
laundry,
chauffeur,
a long list of things. But I don't need to detail that for you, and not all stay-at-home moms do the same things.
Domestic engineering.
There you go. And my title that I like, I'm the COO, the Chief Operating Officer.
That's right.
I make things operate.
You know what bothers me is when people say, I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
Do you want your children to hear you're going crazy? And I think the scripture talks about in Philippians, godliness with contentment is great gain. Be content at home, be content in your job. Learn contentment in whatever circumstance you're in for the season in your life. Really.
I think that we're losing sight of the importance of having stay-at-home moms. I commend you, Corey. I think we have gotten so caught up into things and wanting materialistic things to replace things that money can't buy. And I know for me, I was blessed. We were, I never knew what it was to have a babysitter. My mother was able to stay at home, and my father made sure of that. And I know that it made a difference in who we turned out to be. And I'm not anti the career woman or anything like that.
People would argue with that, for sure.
Yeah.
Say, well, just because you had a stay-at-home mom doesn't mean that you turned out great. I mean, I just think it's very tough.
I had a babysitter growing up, and I loved her. We still call her Nanny, and she just passed away this year, and I went, and it just felt like family. I didn't feel a big difference. I felt I was as loved there as I was with my mom. It felt like no big deal to me at all.
But you know what, I think that, and you have to do what you have to do, but definitely whoever your mom bought in, I'm sure she took the time to make sure she had somebody there that had the same values that she would have given you had she had been able to be home. There are times that people can't do that. I was blessed, I was fortunate enough that my mother was able to stay home. And there are some times that that's not the case.
But it's polarizing. It's a polarizing
but to devalue being at a stay-at-home mom is not, that's incorrect. It's one of the greatest gifts ever is to be a stay-at-home mom and raise these amazing kids. I kind of get to do both. And, and I get to work. But it's an honor to be with them and to be their mom and to raise them. And it's an honor also to serve the community and work.
Right. I remember when I was I do work. I've always worked part-time. So I always liked the object or the idea of job sharing. But I remember being in a grocery store. I worked for a grocery store chain. And I saw a little child. Oh, how are you doing? And I asked him a question about his math. And the woman said to me, well, how do you know about the children's math? You work. And it was so polarizing for me because I said, well, of course I know the children's math. So I just encourage all of us to love one another for what we do. And it doesn't take a village to raise the child. It takes a mom and a dad.
I always encourage young moms, I really do, to see if they can make it work. I think there is a desire in a lot of women that are working that they do want to stay home and mother their children, but they feel trapped. And we were in that situation where we both worked, and we had to cut things out. We drive old cars. We have to budget. But God bless that desire and in that working together. And I tell women, you'd be surprised how much you spend on eating out at lunch,